everybody, and welcome to Share My Story. I get this odd feeling. I watch a lot of animators on YouTube. They're fun to watch. They're great. They're addictive. But this one just doesn't give me the satisfaction. Like, when I look through this channel, every other video is pregnant. So much pregnancy in such short little time. And that's something that I just can't fathom, you know? Like, I didn't know you were pregnant like all the time, man, okay? But we're going to be exploring this channel and showing you about how much this channel is just grinding my gears a little bit. I think it's not good, okay? So we're gonna be just taking a quick gander at one of the latest pregnancy ones, and there's a lot of them, trust me, okay? God, I didn't know you were aborting all your children. This has 9 million views? What and why is this happening?
Have you ever done something truly evil and destroyed someone's whole life?
All the time.
I have. I was 19 and about to
I think you're about to tell us why.
From high school. But then my math teacher, Mr. Cumberbatch, told me I'd failed his class and would have to repeat the year. I was devastated because I had already made plans to go to college.
You already made plans to go to college? I mean, how crappy are you at math that the marks that you're getting on these tests and quizzes and the homeworks, the university is like, come on in, you got an F? Come on in.
So I started crying and begged him to show mercy and let me pass.
Look at those tears,
said,
bro.
No. And shook his head. In a last attempt, I gave him a big hug and said,
how close are you with this math teacher? That's exactly what the math teacher should be doing. They'll be like, excuse me, I'm not supposed to be touching students. This is not good. Apparently I think he did a little bit more touching if the thing is my teacher got me pregnant. But oh boy. Also, look at those funny little bat wings over there. That's interesting.
Hug and said, please, Mr. Cumberbatch.
Oh, please.
Isn't there anything I can do?
Oh my God, push you away.
It's too late now.
It's too late.
But I showed persistence.
Frick
and
you,
kept begging him, saying, please, Mr. Cumberbatch, isn't there anything I can do for you?
Oh, I hate that sentence. Is there anything I can do for you? Oh my God, the math teacher's gonna be like, hey baby, have sex with me. That's just, I don't want that. That's
Finally,
just nasty.
He had a change of heart and wrote down an address on a paper and said, okay, come here on Saturday, 6 p.m.
Look how short your tie is.
Math exercises, and if you do well, I will change your grade and let you pass.
An F to an A for so simple math exercises? I wish. Bro, it'd definitely be like F to like a C, a D. I don't understand.
I gave him one last hug and said, thank you, Mr. Cumberbatch. You are the best.
This is not going well. I mean, if this is the same kind of thing that all the pregnancy stories follow, it starts with, I need something, and that he also needs something, he or her needs something, and then there's some intertwining, there's some sperm penetrating.
When Saturday arrived, I was very nervous. Going on a date, or if I was getting a private math lesson.
Wait a second. Can you run that by me again, quick?
Very nervous. I didn't know if I was going on a date or if I was getting a private math lesson.
What? Usually when someone writes down an address, okay? See, an address. I wrote down an address. I gave it to you, okay? I gave this to you, okay? I gave this to you. And not only did I give this to you, I told you to come here on Saturday for, like, tutoring or whatever. You're not gonna, let's say your tutor did this. You're not gonna wake up Saturday morning and be like, is my tutor gonna go out with me or is he gonna teach me math? Listen, it's math, not chemistry, okay? Listen, you're not going on, what's the first thought that pops into someone's mind when they're like, here, an address, come here, Saturday, we're doing math. Am I going on a date?
But just to be sure, I dressed myself up.
Just to be sure? How old is this math teacher? Don't tell me this math teacher's like 70 years old and he's like, Let's get it on.
Put on my old school uniform, but made a few changes to look as exciting as...
Made a few changes. Oh my god. Listen, those few changes could look. You look like you're drunk right now.
It's possible. When I arrived at his house, he opened the door and said, "Come in. You're looking gorgeous today."
Ew, why would you say that? What kind of math teacher says that? What kind of math teacher would be like, "Here's my address. Hello, gorgeous. Wow. Just drinking my coffee. You look beautiful, stunning. Mwah. Come over here." That's not what you say. That's not etiquette.
I responded with, "Thank you, Mr. Cumberbatch. You're looking good too." We sat down at a desk and he told me to solve some math problems, but I couldn't focus.
You have a single sheet of paper of math problems, and that's gonna change your F to an A? What?
Mr. Cumberbatch was so close to me, and I realized how attractive he was.
Oh, you are attractive to a 70-year-old man. I mean, more power to you, but I mean, the guy's a 70-year-old man. Is he not married or anything? Did he go through a divorce? You know, someone of that stature.
I mean, I was 19, and he was only 10 years older than me.
You know, man, I was only 10 years older. Like, 15, you're kind of breaching a gap. 20, all right, that's a little bit much. 40 years older, now that's crossing a line. If someone is 40 years older than you, that's crossing a line. Listen, I only get out of bed for people that are 17 years older than me. Like, huh?
What turned me on the most was the authority he had over me.
Oh my god, more and more, I am concerned about this girl. Who is this girl's name?
He could decide whether I would pass the year or repeat it. At one point, I just stared into his eyes and hoped he would kiss me.
Do you believe a single word this chick is saying? I think not.
But I guess he was too nervous. So instead, I kissed him.
What? What? How do you, okay, first of all, that's an in breach of privacy. Listen, personal boundaries were definitely touched. Not only touched, they were demolished. Like, if my wall was my personal thing, you kissing me without any kind of, like, hey, it's just punching through that wall like Iron Man, okay? Don't do that.
And he liked it.
Did he?
Kissing my high school teacher wasn't technically illegal, but we still broke the rules of our school. A teacher-student relationship was strictly prohibited, but that's what made it so exciting. When we said goodbye to each other, I asked him if I had studied enough to pass the year and...
Studied enough? 1 day of studying. Did I pass the year, Mr. Cumberbatch? Hey, yeah. Benedict McCumberbatch, hey, did I pass the year?
He said, "You have worked very hard today, and therefore
don't touch her!"
And gave him one more kiss on his mouth. So 2
What?
weeks later, I found out I was pregnant.
What? You smooched him on the lips? Was there sperm on his lips? You kissed him and you became pregnant. What?
I didn't mind, though, because I really liked Mr. Cumberbatch.
You didn't mind. What is happening in this video?
The next day, I went up to him at school to tell him about the baby. I secretly hoped we would become a couple.
This baby is gonna be a foot on. Why? Why? This baby's gonna be like, "Where's dad?" And the mom's gonna be like, "I don't know where dad is. Dad's teaching something."
But when he heard the news, he got angry and said, "You will go to the pharmacy right now and get the pill."
What is a morning after pill?
I didn't like the way he talked to me. This was my body and therefore my decision. I asked him if he was interested in raising the baby with me, but he freaked out and screamed, "I already have a wife and kid."
Oh my god! Oh my god! This just takes going on to like second levels, another levels. I already have a child and a wife, and you're over here being like, let's just come here this Saturday. Here's my address. I don't understand.
Of course. And don't act like you didn't know. All my students know I have a wife and kid.
All my students know I have a wife and kid, yeah. But I willingly came into this relationship, gave you a little smooch on the lips with my sperm-filled lips, and, got you preggers, bro. Like, what?
Wow, what a jerk. Not only did he betray his wife, but now he was trying to put the blame on me.
They're the two. You guys are both equally at fault for this, okay?
I got angry and said, I will keep the baby and tell your wife what you did. That's when he almost had a seizure and screamed right
He almost
at me.
had a seizure.
You won't do that.
You
But
won't
then I had
do
an
that.
idea. I knew I would keep the baby anyway, but at least I could pretend to make a deal with him. I said, if you turn all my grades into straight A's, then I will change
What is that face? That is a nasty face.
my mind on the baby. Mr. Cumberbatch was desperate. He agreed to the deal and snuck into our school at night to change my grades on the principal's computer.
Who told you this? Dr. Cumberbatch was like, yes, I changed all your grades, and even though I don't even have the authority to change your grades, I changed them anyway.
But 2 days later, on my graduation day, things went wrong. When my principal handed over my report card, he took a quick look at it and said, there must have been a mistake. I immediately knew my plan had failed, and the next
That kind of looked like she
day
farted.
I got my real report card, and my grades were terrible. The only A I got was in Mr. Cumberbatch's math class. I knew it wasn't his fault, but I was so angry, I found out his address and went to his house.
Really awesome street. Bro, I wish I lived on Really Awesome Street, bro. That's amazing.
A woman opened the door, and she was pregnant too. I asked her if she was the one
They bonded over how pregnant they were, and they ditched Dr. Cumberbatch. It was like, oh yeah, round belly talk.
of Mr. Cumberbatch, and she said yes. Then Mr. Cumberbatch appeared next to her. He stared at me in a very
Wait a second, though. Didn't he write down his address and then tell them to come? So why did you need to find out his address again? This just makes zero sense. 0 cents does this make.
threatening way. For a moment, I had doubts, but then I looked straight into her eyes and said, your husband got me pregnant, and he has no interest in taking responsibility for his mistake.
I think that was a bit of a bad idea. I mean, who goes off and be like, yeah, your husband got me pregnant, yeah. Oh, suck it.
I hoped she would get angry at her husband, but instead she got angry at me, screaming, you bitch! You've seduced my husband, you dirty bitch!
Well, there you go. That's what you get. Usually it's the wife that is suspicious of the husband and finds out and then gets mad at the husband. The girl doesn't go over and be like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah, it was your husband. Yup, I'm right here. Like,
I was shocked and went back home, but it got worse. The next day, she came to my house and used a golf club to break in through a window. My parents weren't at home to protect me, so I fled to the rooftop and called
what? A pregnant woman is flying to the rooftop. Okay. I like how you have police as contacting your phone.
police. They arrived in time and took Mrs. Cumberbatch into custody. 2 weeks later, she was sentenced to 24 months in prison. But the
What?
story gets even crazier.
Does it?
I called up Mr. Cumberbatch and told him we needed to talk. We met at a restaurant and
What? Oh, yeah, we meet at a restaurant. Time to get pregnant for the second time. Like,
I will divorce her as soon as possible, and I'd like you to come live with me.
oh my god, what is happening? Why? What is that? That's a bunch of lies. Dr. Cumberbatch is a piece of ass.
But then I saw how Mr. Cumberbatch preferred his other daughter over mine.
Well, I mean, clearly.
He spent more time with her and treated her so much better. Every morning, he said to her, hey, sweetie, good morning. I love you so much. And then he completely ignored my daughter.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I had to admit that she was the perfect child. Extremely beautiful and very smart. Much smarter than my daughter.
Well, maybe you should be teaching your daughter more stuff, huh? Get on, like freaking ABC Mouse or something.
At age 2,
Don't tell me at age 2 she was like, oh, I know rocket
she
science.
already spoke fluently. I often screamed at Mr. Cumberbatch, telling him to treat them equally, but he never did. At one point, I couldn't take it anymore. I went to a lawyer and asked him how much the father of my child had to pay me in child support on a...
Wait a second. You guys aren't even married. You guys are just living together.
If you don't pay me the money, I will tell the school authorities that you got me pregnant while I was one of your students.
Oh my god, bro. Why didn't you do this from the start then? Why didn't you do this from the start, lady, huh?
I'm sure they will fire you for that.
Oh my god.
He got angry and said, How stupid are you? If I'm gonna lose my job, then how am I gonna pay your child support? I responded, you are demanded by the law to pay my child support anyway. If you don't, you will go to prison just like your wife.
Well, then they'll hook up in prison. I don't know what you want with this lady, this chick.
Meanwhile, I moved back in with my parents and life became much easier for me.
What?
Right now, my mom takes care of my daughter while I'm going to college.
What?
With the $2,500 Mr. Cumberbatch sends me each month, I have enough money to feed my daughter and party through the weekends.
What?
Trust me, I really enjoy my college life.
What?
But Mr. Cumberbatch had to move into a cheaper and smaller house. He couldn't afford his old rent anymore. I knew it was wrong, but for some reason, I deeply enjoyed seeing Mr. Cumberbatch suffer. A few months later, I checked his Facebook and saw he was back with Mrs. Cumberbatch.
Oh, wait a second.
Months later, I checked his Facebook.
Oh, yeah. You really want to hide his identity, right? Mr. Ryan Cumberbatch. I don't know. That could be like Dylan or something.
And saw he was back with Mrs. Cumberbatch. I was still envious of their daughter. I didn't think they deserved such a perfect child. So one night...
Are you gonna go kidnap their child? You're gonna go kidnap their child?
After I came back from a college party, I did something terrible.
You're gonna kidnap her daughter.
Photos of me holding Mrs. Cumberbatch's daughter on a USB stick, put it in an envelope, and sent it to their new home. I wanted to let Mrs. Cumberbatch know that her husband and I had been living together while she was in prison.
What?
I hoped she'd get angry and break into my house so the police could arrest her again. But this time nothing happened. And instead of giving up, I took it one step further.
What is
when it
wrong
was time
with
to
you?
return my next child support
Let it
check,
go!
I went to their home to pick it up personally. Mrs. Cumberbatch opened the door looking shocked to see me. I said, I want to pick up my child support check in person. She said, what are you talking about? And I responded,
What?
Your husband didn't tell you? He pays me $2,000 per month in child support so I can take
Is it 2,000 or is it 2,500?
care of my daughter. I saw she was getting angry. And then her daughter came to the door and saw me. She immediately started screaming out of joy and ran up to me. Her mother said, don't touch her. But I didn't care. I picked her up and said, oh, there's my baby. Mama is back now.
Oh my
Her mother took her
God!
out of my arms and screamed at me. You dirty little girl. All you do is destroy happy families. I responded, if you're such a happy family, why didn't your husband tell you he's paying another girl $2,000 a month in child support? And where is he anyway? I'm sure he wants to sleep with me again.
What?
She responded,
What?
better not come.
What is the wow? This girl is an instigator. This girl's an instigator.
But on my way home, I felt weird. Like I had done something wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should have had these feelings from the beginning of this dumb video, and then the video wouldn't be exactly 10 minutes and 9 seconds long.
I still receive my child support checks, but now I fully focus on my daughter and on college.
Wow, huh? I just don't understand. I don't understand. Oh yeah, wonderful that it makes me feel so much better that this video has a happy ending. That that you're striving to be a better person, all this other stuff. But what about everything else? There is so much wrong in this video. There is so much wrong. I can't even count how much is wrong in this video. Oh man, is it when I watch one, YouTube is just gonna keep recommending me all this other stuff. I don't want this. It does say in their channel name that it's just share my story. Doesn't even have to be a real story. It doesn't say share my totally 100% happened real story. It just says share my story. Oh my goodness. Look at the like to dislike ratio. How many people like this and be like, yes, good job, lady. Come by this Saturday. Straight up. Do it. This Saturday, you want to get your math grade up?